The fifth round of the FIM MX1 MX2 Motocross World Championship took place at Saint-Jean-d'Angely in the south of France, and in the first moto it was Ken Roczen who stormed to the head of the field and eventually went on to win. Was never headed for all but one of the laps. Gauthier Paulin, he was in second for a while, being challenged by the American of Zach Osborne in third, with Tommy Searle on the Kawasaki. Well, he made a difficult start for himself as Herlings crashed out late on in the race. Herlings had been holding a fourth place finishing position until that moment. Tommy Searle, though, after starting in seventh position, found his way up into fourth, demoting Arnold Tonus along the way. Tonus would eventually finish in sixth place. Zach Osborne, though, eventually settled down and would go on to take third in the first moto. Just ahead of him, Gauthier Paulin on the Monster Energy Yamaha. He would be second, but there was no one able to do anything about the KTM of Ken Roczen as he stormed to another race win here at Saint-Jean in moto number one. Question was, would he do it again in race number two? The first of the MX1 races got underway, and our championship leader, Clement de Sal, soon found out that it was not a championship that was ready to be won yet. On the outside of the screen, just take a look, he collided with another rider and the championship leader was down and buried at the back of the pack. Meanwhile, up front, Stephen Frossard on the Monster Energy Yamaha found himself in a good position, just like his teammate David Philipparts, who started from fourth, eventually found himself into third after passing the Russian Evgeny Bobryshev just there in that top corner. Kai Rowley found himself in second position on the KTM, the defending champion, but it was a good ride through the field for Ken de Dijker. Having started in 10th place, the Belgian would eventually find his way back into fifth. Along the way, he found his way past Ben Townley, his first ride back since injury. The Kiwi on the Kawasaki, the Green Machine, would find his way into eighth come the checkered flag. But he got himself involved in some good battles along the way with some of the favourites, including Max Nagel. Nagel would eventually finish in seventh. Towards the end of the race, though, David Philipparts decided to go after Tony Cairoli for second position. He eventually fell to third. In the end, the win went to Stephen Frossard. And he enjoyed the moment and celebrated with the fans as he rode back towards the winner's circle. In MX2, the second and final moto of the day got underway. All eyes again on Ken Roczen and Tommy Searle as they went through the first turn in first and second position. But on the first lap, Ken Roczen had this spectacular crash. He scrubbed his way off the back of the bike, did a backflip, landed in quite a dangerous position on the other side of a blind jump. So that inherited the lead to the number 338, Zach Osborne on the Yamaha, with Tommy Searle on the Kawasaki in close pursuit in what turned out to be one of the best races of the season so far. Jeffrey Herlings, well, he'd found himself closing in on this battle as Tommy Searle went through into the lead. Herlings found a way from third to first in the space of a couple of laps, so we had a new race leader. Herlings from Tommy Searle. Osborne was third, Gauthier Paulin was fourth at that point. Tommy Searle, though, found his opportunity. He went down the inside of Herlings as he tangled with a back marker and had to change his lines, handing the win to Tommy Searle. Herlings was second, Osborne third, Gauthier Paulin was fourth. And the final MX1 race of the day, could Clement de Sal make amends? Well, he charged down into turn one, almost lost the front end as he tried to turn too tight, but he came out fifth, and by turn three he was already in the lead, and as it happened, he was never headed and never looked back. Behind him, though, it was all action. The Russian Evgeny Bobryshev was in second position, but the hard-charging Stephen Frossard, our race one winner, found himself down in sixth position. Eventually he found his way up into third and then second, where he challenged for the overall Grand Prix podium victory. Tony Cairoli, in the closing stages, caught and passed both the Hondas of Rui Gonçalves and Evgeny Bobryshev. De Sal was up front all by himself. Frossard was now in second position. Cairoli had found his way into third, with Rui Gonçalves in fourth on the last lap, overtaking his teammate. But this was when Cairoli went through into third position, passing Rui Gonçalves. The checkered flag went out to Clement de Sal.